Hello, everyone. Welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. Today, we have three great decks for you and so much more. We're also kicking off our new season giveaway. We're giving away 15, that's right, 1 5 season passes for next season, just like we do every season. 15 chances to get that Sebastian Shaw season pass, not his son. Sebastian Shaw Season Pass, 15 chances. Stay tuned to find out how. But before you do, hit that sub button, hit that like, hit that comment. One, it's kind of necessary for the giveaway. But in addition to being necessary for that giveaway, we bring you at least 3 brand new decks every single weekday. We have all sorts of variety content in addition. We have bundle guides. We're going to give you a bundle guide later this episode. We go over my shop every single day. We go over pro tips. We go over just everything you need for your Marvel Snap journey. You can find right here on this page, along with the friendliest, most positive, and helpful community around. I also, if you're in the process of getting through Series 3, will happily, if you hit me up on Discord, build you decks that can compete in the Marvel Snap meta with wherever your collection is. We got you. Hit that sub button, ring that bell, don't miss a video. We appreciate it. Help us grow. We are right around 6,200. We're trying to hit 7,000 now. Let's go. Give us that support. We appreciate it. We'll earn it. Now, season pass for Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian Shaw is going to be, just for anyone who knows, we're not going to do this whole thing every day. This is the giveaway announcement. I promise this will be shorter on other days. He is a 3/4. Anytime he would get +1 power permanently, +1 or more power permanently, he gets that +2. So if you blow up a Nova and Shaw is out, he's going to get +3. If you play Surfer, he's going to get +4. That leads to him being a largely pretty damn big body, although he is one that prefers global buffs. Otherwise, if you're just bumping him, it ends up not being like quite as consistent. Although with Shuri, he's going to get +10, right? Like sorry, +4 and then +2. So he's going to be a +10. So like there's some things here we're going to have to theory craft with him. That'll be next Tuesday's video. So make sure you check that out. I have some I think cool ideas, although my gut uh feeling is that he's largely going to be, if he doesn't create a whole new buff him archetype, he's largely going to be a surfer card. All right, 15 season passes. The first way you can win is right here on YouTube. Comment any video from Wednesday, that's today, to next Monday's video. There will be 5 videos between now and then. There will be a video Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then, sorry, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday. Any of those comments enter you to win one of the 5 YouTube passes to giveaway. As long as you are subbed, you will be entered to win. In addition, linked in the description to this video is a tweet that you have to basically subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitter, retweet, and comment something. And if you do so, guess what? That's another chance to win one of 5. Finally, on Marvel Snap Zone, I do a giveaway there as well. One of 5 season passes. There'll be an article that goes up, I'm hoping, today. Sometimes it goes up early the next day. I'm not in charge of the publishing schedule at Snap Zone, where you can follow the instructions in that article to get, you guessed it, 5 more season passes. Cool. Make sure you enter, only way to win. Let's go to the actual content of the video. Today's deck outline and deck credits. First, we have the questions of the day. Every single day, I find 2 to 3 questions from listeners, viewers in the comments from yesterday's video or earlier days' videos, and answer them. 2, quick correction to something we got wrong in yesterday's video. 3, Quinee Equinox / Nerds of Paradise created a sick deck. Quinee is one of the creators of Marvel Snap, along with like Lambie, along with I don't know, there's quite a few of them, along with W, that if they release a deck, I make a video on it. I want to get you these decks as fast as possible so that you can take advantage of them when they have their highest win rates, and you can get infinite with them. You can get your infinity borders with them, while other people won't even know what hit them. We have a bundle guide for the Kai Lun Qu Artist Showcase bundle. We have 2 decks from Den and an update on the OTA schedule for this year, and we're going to close out with my shop. Let's get to those questions. Wizrad asks, Legion versus Snowguard for 3k tokens. So this is an interesting question. I really like it because it is a context-specific question. Legion right now, I think, only really has one tier 1 deck, or one close to tier 1 deck. It's that Destroy deck that runs Legion Professor X. It's It was running Vision over Legion from Johnson, and then Odie stuck in Legion, and I think it took the consistency of the deck up to a whole new level, assuming you know how to use Legion well. And Legion is clearly a more powerful card most of the time than Snowguard. However, contextually, Snowguard has a lot more uses. In that Snowguard gives you 2 extra cards, Snowguard is completely busted with Loki. It's one of, if not the best, I think no, without exception, ugh, it or Werewolf. It's one of the 2 best high series cards to pair with your Loki if you have Loki. If you have Loki, you want Snowguard more than Legion. Snowguard's also really, really good with Surfer. 2 reasons. First, Surfer's best card right now is Werewolf by Night. This gives you a 1 on reveal you can play. That gives you 2 more 3s that you can play with Surfer. Being able to open up locations is great for Surfer, and sometimes that bear just scams things. The abilities are nice, but what you're really getting is 2 more 3s that you can pump by 2 for Surfer. That has a lot of value. Finally, in the winning deck from the Team Impulse tournament, Snowguard was in the deck and didn't seem to fit, except that it was just part of a nice simple Devil Dino package. Sure, the location ability or the bear could win a game sometimes, but really it was just a 1-2 that stuck 2 extra cards in your hand, which is the best rate in the game for getting more cards in your hand, right? So Snowguard has more good homes and more uses. I think if I had 3K tokens, even though Legion is one of my very best and very favorite cards in the game, I would buy Snowguard. Next up, Bojack Norseman. Hey, Bojack, we talk all the time. Asks if Jeff or Ironlad is more important. Similar answer. Jeff is more important, but I think Ironlad is better. Ironlad's power ceiling is super high. I think both are among the best cards in the game. But what Ironlad does is really, really hard to replace. What Ironlad does is gives you 2 copies of a card in your deck. Sometimes Ironlad is straight up game winning. Jeff can be game winning, but Jeff is more of an enabler. Jeff is game winning if your opponent's running Professor X. And given the current meta, Jeff is closer to Ironlad than he's been in a long time. Professor X is everywhere, which makes Jeff extraordinarily powerful. However, Ironlad enables those Professor X decks. It enables Miss Marvel. It enables Darkhawk. Ironlad just fits in almost every deck right now, just like Jeff. But Ironlad's just stronger. I've been a get Jeff first person forever. I think Ironlad is more important right now. However, if you can at the end of December save up enough gold for the sugar, spice, and everything nice bundle, you can get both. Use your spotlights for Jeff next week, and then at the end of the month, you can grab Ironlad. Or if you buy that pro bundle now, you can just buy Jeff next week, and then you can use spotlights for Ironlad, because Ironlad comes with Series 5 cards, and Jeff comes with Series 4 cards. So you would much prefer use spotlights on Ironlad. I'm leaning Ironlad for who's more important. Both are very important. Someone asked about why there's not gameplay on this channel, and I'm going to give an explanation that I give reasonably often. I try and do this once every couple months on the channel, just so people know what we're about, what we're doing here on the channel, why you're not going to find gameplay. The first thing is I release about a half hour to 40-minute video every single day. A lot of the people that have gameplay in their videos are streamers, though those that release every day anyway. And what they're doing is they're repurposing a lot of their streaming video for the channel. I'm not a streamer. I have a full-time job, a kid. I'm a union VP, married. I just don't have time to stream. So since I don't have time to stream, that means I'd have to add an extra thing on top of the articles I write for Snapzone, and I just don't have time. But even if I did have time, I don't think it's valuable for the following reason. First, every channel, if you go click a random YouTube video about this game, you know exactly what you're gonna get. You're gonna get 1 deck, not 3 decks. You're gonna get 1 subject. That subject is basically outside of the 8 cube thing that Lambian can do. With that exception, you're gonna generally get 1 deck, then you're gonna get 2 minutes of talk about it in a gameplay video. That's not us. You can get that anywhere. You don't need me to do that. Every channel on earth does that. If that's what you want, much love. There's some wonderful, beautiful people who do that. I suggest my homie Prashan if you want someone under the radar. You can check Father Newman, who tells awesome stories while he plays. And of course, you can check the biggies like our Cams, our Lambies, Peaceful Sea, etc., etc., etc. All these big people do this, right? I can list you 50. No one does what we do. No one comes close. Come here so you can get some different Marvel Snap content. Next, I'm a teacher. I said that earlier, right? There's this thing in education called that basically overtook the previous lecturing model called I do, we do, you do. And from a YouTube video, from just watching gameplay and not being coached through gameplay, there is no we do. So it's I do, you do. And it turns out that that's a really poor model for learning. If I just show you something and there's no interactivity or collaboration, and then you go to do it, you don't learn it. What you end up doing is copying me. Far more effective is the original lecture model, which is what we're doing here. You'll see later on this video, if you've never been here, if you have, you know this, you're going to see a turn-by-turn guide. So what you do is you either memorize, and some people actually take pictures of that turn-by-turn guide, and then as you're thinking about when and why you do things, you teach yourself with those starting instructions how to be better at Marvel Snap, how to play better, how to determine whether, oh, it says that I really, really want Zabu on 2, but in this matchup, what if I played Black Widow here? Would that stopping that extra draw be worth more? And that's the kind of decision you get to make by having a turn guide. But if you're just watching me do the same thing over and over again, you copy it, and those mental connections never really develop. Finally, if you do want to try gameplay, watch all the YouTube you want. But if you want gameplay to get better, I strongly, strongly, strongly urge you to check out some Twitch streamers, because a lot of the best streamers, my favorite streamers, will, as they play online, answer questions about their decision makings, and that helps with the we do portion. So if you want to get better, there's none better than Lambie for it, but there's 1,000 good ones. If you'd like some suggestions, just leave a comment. I'll let you know some suggestions. Cool? About streamers that will happily teach you as they go. And if you want coaching, just for $10 a month on Marvel Snap Zone, for Marvel Snap Zone Premium, Den does weekly coaching sessions that everyone I know who's done them raves at. Hopefully Seamus in the comments or someone in the comments will back me up on this, but I've sent like 5 or 6 friends there, and they're all just like, oh my God, this is great. Oh my God, this is great. They absolutely love his coaching. So if you want actual coaching, the most affordable you're going to get, it's usually like 50 an hour, is the $10 a month for weekly Marvel Snap Zone group coaching. Cool. Finally, question for you guys. Outside of the like, what Twitch streamers do you watch to learn? I watched Wish with my kid tonight. Got home reasonably late, making the video. I also finished Scott Pilgrim Takes Off last week. I love me some Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is a wild take on it. It's the Netflix anime. Want me to review them in tomorrow's video? A couple weeks ago, I reviewed, what was it? The Marvels on the channel, and I got rave reviews. And I know that was a Marvel property, so I felt like it was close enough that like people would be interested in it. And turns out they really were. People enjoyed it. Want me to review other stuff I see? I can throw it toward the end of videos if you guys want. Let me know in the comments. You can be like, no, not for me. Or, yeah, let's do that. Whatever makes you happy. Let's keep it going. First, our quick correction. Then we're going to finally get to the first deck. Our quick correction is, this is the Jean Grey Spotlight, and it is making my life difficult, because this is the Jim Lee Dark Phoenix, and it's beautiful, and I really want it. But I have Martyr. I use tokens on Martyr. I have like 50,000 tokens. I'm a content creator. I get to do that. I don't suggest you do. I kind of like this variant, but I don't really want to blow spotlights on it, so I'm a little torn. But the data mines were incorrect, and this is the Spotlight variant for Jean Grey this week. I assume you saw so in game, but I don't want to leave anyone confused in any way, shape, or form. The data mines are not always perfect, and this is another instance of that. Finally, this is the first deck. This is our key deck of the day, and I am in love. This deck has 1,000,000,000 plans. I looked at this deck, and Quinee's a genius, right? And I was like, yep, Quinee's too big brain for me. I'm not going to be able to do this. Nope, I can totally do it, and it beats the crap out of everything as long as you draw reasonably well. I strongly urge you to mostly play this deck in Conquest. It's fine on ladder. I took it onto ladder and gained, I don't know, 200-ish ranks. I'm ranked about 4,000 right now. I decided I usually start in the like 1 to 2,000 range, and then like I work all day, right? So every time I go to work, I come back home and I'm like 800 to 1,000 ranks lower, and it's wildly frustrating. I decided to play just enough ladder to stay around this level this month, just to sort of prove I could end up in the like shows your number range, and I'm like right around the top 1,000 on North America, but while barely trying. So hey, look, I'm good enough still. Yay! Now I can stop carrying it again next month. This deck is sick. It is so good. Basically, it has like 17 play lines, and your opponent has no way of knowing what you're going to do. But through Daredevil, and it does not matter what they're playing, you can decide. As long as you can figure out if it's an ongoing, you're set. So you can On turn 5, decide to play Ms. Marvel, Sentry, Professor X, Valkyrie, Annihilus. And then turn 6, you have those same plays, but plus Destroyer. So if you get your Professor X off and you have a Ms. Marvel, that's kept a lane going, right? Let's say you Professor X that Ms. Marvel lane, and now you have 8 power in that lane, plus the Daredevil, you're at 9, you won that lane. If you Destroyer another lane, as long as you didn't mess up your earlier plays, that's a 20 power lane. That's reasonably likely to win, right? And like and then like you blow up a sentry or a hood or whatever they were planning to stop you with. Or they could have sent you a bunch of junk over and you've got a Ms. Marvel in the center lane, and then you just go in Valkyrie and win. And then if you have enough space, you can Valkyrie and Demon and win. Or they could not be prepared for it. They can be playing around one of the 18 other things. And you can just go Sentry on 5 and Nihilus on 6 and win. I did that earlier for on 8 Cuber. There's just a lot of ways to win in this deck. There's a lot of power to it, and your opponent has almost no hope of playing around absolutely everything. Your job is to read them and then make the right plays. And Daredevil lets you know what path they're planning on taking. This deck needs Annihilus. Nebula can be Jeff or Nightcrawler. Yes, you lose a bit for that. Actually, may like Jeff a little bit better, but I understand why Nebula's here. Nightcrawler is basically Nebula. Cheap Jeff right now. Mobius is really good, but fairly often I was like, man, I wish that was Shadow King. So either way, that is my potential changes. Mobius is here largely because if you get Mobius out early against that Loki matchup, Loki has a really hard time playing against you, and because you have so many packages, Loki doesn't necessarily have an answer to all like they're drawing different pieces of different packages and can't always do anything. And when all their cards cost full price, they are so much less effective. All right, everyone is currently crushing with this. Quinee posted this on Monday and messaged me about it after my video was already made, so it took me a day to get this to you. But she went 19-6 in Conquest, and all the comments on the video are like, "Oh my god, I got this! I won this! I won that! I hit infinite with this! I reached rank 1,000 with this! I got an infinity ticket with this!" This is going to be one of the first things I use an infinity ticket on this season. This deck is awesome. Turn 1 is generally Nebula over Hood. Nebula is a card that's way better if you get out early. Turn 2, Daredevil is better than Armor. Daredevil is one of the keys to the deck. It gives you a snapping condition on turn 5. Turn 3, Cosmo and Mobius are about equal depending on the match. Sometimes Armor and Hood are better. It really, really depends. I do not hate Armor and Hood. Sometimes people will be like, I'll just fill that lane and snap, and now they're screwed. And then I can just win that lane with Valkyrie later, and that's sweet. Because now I have a demon, right? You're trying to hold that demon, so if you need to Valkyrie on 6, you can go Valkyrie, make everything 3, demon, and then you win that lane. Next up, Ms. Marvel is better than Sentry, usually. If they're obviously leaving a ton of space open, feel free to play it the other way, but whatever. It's also worth noting that if you think they're going to Professor X that Sentry lane, right? Like they're clearly playing that deck that's going to Professor X. You get that Sentry out early, and then you just drop Valkyrie in the lane where they're going to Professor X, and now you have 6 power there, and they just have 3 from Professor X, and enjoy your win. You can pump that further, obviously, with Ms. Marvel. That would give you 11 in that lane to their. Turn 5, Professor X, Ms. Marvel, or Sentry. If you're sure they can't do anything, Annihilus is extremely powerful. The way I'm conceptualizing Annihilus, and you'll hear much more about this on Snapchat's podcast when it comes out either later today or tomorrow, is that a turn 4 Sentry to a turn 5 Annihilus is 27 power if they can't do anything about it. Shuri into Red Skull is 29 power. That's top line power for Marvel Snap, right? If you conceptualize it that way and you play smart, you're getting a huge advantage when they have to take it. Just know the matchups. People are going to play around it less as time goes. Professor X is still priority 1, because if you win a lane, that gives you so many options this turn. If you want a Professor X lane on Ms. Marvel, Destroyer is 20 power. You can also Valkyrie or Annie avoid. Either way is fine. And there's always, you can just drop Destroyer on Cosmo and win a lane. Any of those tend to be really good ways to win games of Marvel Snap. Also, this deck eats Shuri. Shuri really, really hates Valkyrie. Let's keep going. Quick variant look. We've got our Noir Hood, our beautiful Peach Momoko Daredevil, to go with our, I believe this Valkyrie is also, no, this is Rion Valkyrie. We've got a decent number of hips. We've got our Nebula here. We've got our Mobius here. We've got our Ms. Marvel here. And we've got our Destroyer. Oh, and our Annihilus. We're actually above our hip threshold. Our second Rion is Cosmo here. I love this armor. Baby Professor X with his boyfriend. Really cool. I believe Jacinto Sentry. This is a pretty deck and a powerful deck. And if you have access to most of it, you should really try it. Remember, Annihilus, I believe, is the only high series card you need, outside of, I guess, Ms. Marvel. Artist Showcase, Kai Lun Qu. This is a good value. Is it a great value? No, but it's a very good value. 9,000 credits and 1,000 collector's tokens is a lot. These variants are freaking gorgeous, by the way. This is probably the best Human Torch in the game and probably the best Doctor Strange in the game. So if you care about that, it's fine. I don't really care about the Infinity ticket. I could just play a real deck and win when I need to. Hopefully, my viewers can too. If you can't win them, then having them is not that useful, right? Because if you can't win them, you're probably not going to win the 5 to actually make one of use. The value here is good. However, 6,500 gold is a lot. There's a bundle coming at the end of December called Sugar and Spice that I believe is 7,000 or 7,500. That is way better value than this. It's 7,000 credits, but it's also 6,000 collector's tokens, which is like rocketed through the roof value. They could patch that down, but we're all here hoping, as my friend Savage Yeti said, you can check out his patch reviews at Savage Yeti Gaming. As Savage Yeti said, it might be their Christmas present to us to give us this incredible gold bundle. If you can only afford one, even with the potential for a data mine change, I would hold for the sugar and spice. If you're gonna spend on more than one bundle, hey, this is great value. I've got to decide what I'm gonna do. I can't yet. I'll let you know when I finally get there. But I want that sugar and spice bundle. The sugar and spice bundle's value is so freaking good. Our next deck is Conquest Den Double Up. So Den does our Conquest tier list over at Marvel Snap Zone. He does like everything, but he does our Conquest tier list at Snap Zone, and this was performing well, so he posted it, and then people started rolling with it to infinite tickets. It is our standard She-Hulk Double Up. Basically, what you do is you play out a normal good early game, and then on turn 4 you Moon Girl, on turn 6 you do skip turn 5, and then turn 6 you play hopefully 2 She-Hulks, and then whatever else you can. Quinjet plus the She-Hulk negation will make that She-Hulk 0 on the last turn. So you get 20 energy for 1 power. If you can drop a Ms. Marvel and a Mystique with them, things start to get crazy. Or a Darkhawk and a Mystique, etc., etc. All of the above, things start to get completely crazy. There's a ton of power in this deck, and sometimes you miss that Ms. Marvel package, right? That She-Hulk package. Excuse me, that She-Hulk package. And when you do, you have a regular badass Darkhawk gameplay. Darkhawk wins a lot of games on Marvel Snap. Anyone who doesn't know. You need Hawk, Zabu, and Ms. Marvel. Luckily, 2 of those are 3,000 tokens. So if you can get Darkhawk and Zabu, you probably should. Meanwhile, you should always buy the Season Pass. Check literally any Season Pass video for a whole bunch of explanation. The math is through the roof. It is always the best value in Marvel Snap. This is currently rocking in Conquest, so Quinjet over Korg over Sunspot is my turn 1 play. Turn 2 is Zabu, way better than Widow, which is generally way better than Armor. Armor should be in a lot of decks if you're not running Shang or Eliath right now, partially because Shang and Eliath are cards, but also partially because there's still a lot of Destroy, and Armor can just auto-beat them sometimes. Turn 3, Rock Slide, and then if you don't have Rock Slide or Zabu, your basic job is to try and organize your hand so that if you want a Moon Girl, you can get things in the right place. So, like, even though you might prefer an Armor at some point, right? You would generally play a Widow that's closer in your hand to make sure you get the duplicate of She-Hulk. Turn 5, nah. If you don't have She-Hulk, though, a 2 and an ongoing, i.e. Hawk or Ms. Marvel, and then that's because if you didn't have that pass turn, the card you want to play next is going to probably be Mystique to copy either Darkhawk or Ms. Marvel. She-Hulk or Ms. Marvel, Darkhawk, and Mystiques is your end. This is crazy strong. This is so explosive. That armor is really sweet at turning stuff. Quick variant look here. We've got our Twitch drop Sunspot. We've got hips galore, Korg, Zabu, Ms. Marvel. Oh no, not galore. Sad. We're at only 3. In my head, this felt more. Oh well, what are you gonna do? We've got our Ghost Rider Quinjet. It's Very cool. Peach Black Widow to go with a lovely Peach She-Hulk. We've got this Darkhawk that is my favorite Darkhawk in the game. Rock, paper, scissors, slide. The Peach Mystique, which is freaking fantastic. I have that one with a gold background. And the Twitch Drop Moon Girl, because now we've got double Twitch Drop cards. Oh, there's a reasonable theme. If armor and rock slide fit a theme, then we'd have like paired themes here all over the place. Oh, and Quinjet. Oh well, what are you gonna do? All right, next thing we have to talk about is our OTA schedule update. We were told there would be no OTAs for the rest of 2023. That was incorrect, according to Marvel Snap. There is one plan for 12/21. So what we will have is we will have the 12/5 patch, or whatever the day that is. Yeah, 12/5 patch next week. Then we will have a skip week. Then 12/21 will be an OTA. Then there will be another skip. Then 1/7. Actually, another 2 skips. 28. No, one more skip week. Then we will have the patch. Cool. That's going to be the plan. People freaked out that we weren't going to get updates and that the meta wasn't healthy enough for that, but there was a huge patch anyway, so who knows? We still don't know what the patch is. We don't know if it's huge. We don't know if it's tiny. My feeling is this is just miscommunication. When we found out there were no more OTAs until the new year, it was Thanksgiving weekend, and my assumption is that Thanksgiving weekend led to some wonky communication, as it often does. So this, I think, was likely always planned, and they just kind of missed it when they were trying to explain things to us. But there is one more OTA, which is awesome. I personally love an ever-changing game. Not only does it give me more content, I'm the type of person who wants to play a lot of different decks and try different things, and OTAs give me an opportunity to do that. Hey, didn't we just look at this? Nope, this is a different version. So what Den says is he realized that She-Hulk wasn't winning games. What was winning games was basically Quinjet and Ms. Marvel. So, sorry, Quinjet and Moon Girl. So how do you amplify Quinjet and Moon Girl? You put it with the most powerful cards in Marvel Snap. In this case, those powerful cards are the Darkhawk package, and then a little bit of a Ms. Marvel just for funsies. And Iron Lad is such a powerful card, why not run Iron Lad? This deck puts out a crazy amount of power, a crazy amount of cards. I'm not sure Sarah is completely right for the deck. Just for the record, America increases your consistency because you want to see Moon Girl, Quinjet, and Zabu early. This way, you can have that really explosive last turn. By the way, the more I've been thinking about it and working on it, I'm pretty sure Sarah should be armor because otherwise, Eliath can just blow you out with whatchamacallit, with Professor X, but you do a reasonable job being Professor X because you don't have to skip turn 5 on with this deck. So, like, they're going Professor X and you played Moon Girl, so like they're gonna skip, and then you drop a Darkhawk there, and it's like womp womp. You need the 3 previous high series cards: Abu Darker and Marvel. Iron Lad can be a swing card, but so can Sarah or Black Widow. Black Widow is really good here, but I'm not sure. This is the list of cards that are options to try. The other thing I'd like you to leave in the comments today, the thing I'd like to discuss, is what's best here. Cosmo, Armor, Shadow King, Echo, Shang-Chi, Vision, Beast, Rogue. Mix and match, test, help me out. Let me know which is best. One of these is best, and this is a tier 1 deck that we're just discovering. So let's check it out. Look, Mobius can come back into the meta and shut this out, but if Mobius is gone, there's nothing to stop this kind of high power play. So this is also winning Infinity tickets. I have not seen what's winning Infinity yet. As I'm recording this, we are 4 or 5 hours into that. I guess we're 6 hours now into Infinity Conquest being open. Tomorrow's video will have some Infinity Conquest winning decks, but these have dominated everywhere up to Infinity, and that basically never changed. Turn 1, Quinjet's better than Korg. You will note we are now missing the third card, the third 1-drop, which was, what was it? Worse than these two? Whatever. Zebu, Quinjet, Korg are better than Widow for turn 2. Turn 3 is Rock Slide. If you Moon Girl from 3 to 5 here when your hand looks best, basically I really want to copy Mystique because a 2 and a 1 cost Mystique is wildly strong with Ms. Marvel and Iron Lad in the deck. Sorry, Ms. Marvel and Darkhawk in the deck. But from 3 to 5, when you have something you really want to hit, that's when you're dropping that move. Turn 4, Iron Lad is better than Ms. Marvel, is better than Darkhawk. I like Darkhawk to be my last turn play where possible, because all of these cards are vulnerable to Rogue and Enchantress, but Darkhawk's also vulnerable early to Shang-Chi, and why put him out there early to make that dangerous? Turn 5 is Sarah, or a 3 plus a 2. Again, I don't think Sarah is necessarily right in this deck. It's a really powerful card for when you miss Zabu, but I don't often want to spend my 5 playing a 5-4. I'd rather play a 2-3 armor that can help me get set up along with Darkhawk or along with Ms. Marvel. In turn 6, dump. Remember that Mystique's best things are to copy Darkhawk or Ms. Marvel. I decided to use different variants. I threw the rarely seen, that's in like, I don't think I've ever put them in a deck, Chibi Korg and Chibi Rockslide here to pair them up. I went back to the hip Momoko. I'm only playing the hip Zabu. I have another. I don't care. We've got Captain Marvel version of Mystique, the hip Sarah, just to keep our hip count up to the at least 3 we want. McKelvey America, who's new here. Hip Lad. Oh, we're at 4 because Hip Lad. The Peach Momoko Ms. Marvel. Halloween Moon Girl. And then this Darkhawk that I randomly opened that I like a lot. So I like Ghost Rider Quinjet better than this Quinjet, except animated this Quinjet's propellers go, and I'm a child, so propellers win. That's today's decks. Next up, we have yesterday's shop. So, okay, the only thing I really considered here, well, I guess that's not fair. I consider Jessica Jones, but I have Noir, and I like Noir as much as Hip, so I don't need to buy Hip. The other thing I really considered was this Deadpool. I think that might be the best Deadpool, but like the first Deadpool, the Scotty Young Deadpool, Will Merc for Food, was like $100 bundle, and like it's great, and it's not quite as good as this, but it's pretty good. Meanwhile, this other Deadpool was only a what $5-10 bundle, but like it's also one I paid money for. So I have 2 Deadpools I paid money for. I'm not exactly into spending a 1,200 gold on another. And finally, we have a third Taco Deadpool, which I just randomly opened one day, and I think is also like pretty freaking good. So I have 3 great Deadpools. One that's like marginally better isn't really worth it. Um, I bought the White Queen like 2 weeks ago, the Peach Momoko White Queen, so I don't need another of those. I'm not spending anything on pixels. I have I have better Venoms. I have Hip Mordo. Don't I have a red green goblin already? I like a green goblin because his name is Green Goblin, and we talked about just. Next up, we have today's shop. Well, technically yesterday into today shop. This armor is great, but you saw the armor I use. I think they're close enough that like I'm perfectly happy with this. I've got the Hip Odin. I don't need Odin. I don't buy pixels. I bought this Omega Red. There are now 2 cards in all of Marvel Snap that I have only a pixel variant for. One is Polaris, and I don't really remember the other. It's nothing I ever really play, but I'm looking. You'll get the last of those cards. I've also got 6 other cards left in all of Marvel Snap that I don't have a variant for. So we're on the lookout. We're almost done with our variant hunting in this game. I love Dan Hip art. I don't like the Scarlet Witch. I just don't like it. I think it's too like the colors are too samey. There's not enough shade to it, and I don't know. I don't like it. I have 2 other good Scarlet Witches. One where she looks like chaos magic and is like screaming, and one where she looks like a hero and she's like flying in almost the Superman pose at the screen. I don't need this one. I've got enough. I've got 74 hips or something silly. Which leads us to Modok. I actually like this Modok a lot, but I have 3 great Modoks. There's the one they gave us in his season pass, which I was perfectly happy with. And then um, a little while later, the Spotlight Cash came out and it was had a card I needed, and I just happened to open a baby Modok. And like I don't really usually love running babies, but I have Modok goes in discard, right? So I have baby Modok along with baby Morbius and Hip Dracula and Hip Dakin, and then Baby America. There's something else like and Hip Swarm, and like there's just this whole like the whole deck like really feels like it comes together around these cards, and like that Modok is great there. And when I'm not running that whole baby filled theme thing, I've got Pixel Modok, which is one of the 5 best pixels in the game. Pixel Modok is also known as Taco Bell Modok because he is a perfect example of what happens after you eat too much taco. It's hilariously bad. So I don't need to spend 1,200 on a Modok. I got 3 great, but I'm perfectly happy. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to answer the questions that were asked of you throughout. Particularly, would you like to see me review these shows? And what do you think the last couple cards for that second Den deck are? Take these into Conquest. Enjoy your infinite borders. That's what's gonna happen, y'all. See you tomorrow for another Snap Take. Miss ya. Peace.